For decades, Hollywood sold the world an illusion of perfection. The Golden Age star system manufactured gods and goddesses who seemed to exist far above ordinary people. Their smiles dazzled from glossy magazine covers. Their voices floated through radio waves into American living rooms. Their faces loomed larger than life on towering silver screens. But what if that perfection was only skin deep? What if, behind those radiant smiles and tailored suits, lurked habits so revolting they made co-stars recoil? What if the very stars audiences adored were secretly repulsing the people forced to work inches away from them? Today, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on one of Hollywood's dirtiest secrets. Personal hygiene scandals studio publicists worked overtime to bury. From breath so foul it turned kissing scenes into nightmares, to body odor that cleared entire sets. These are the stomach-turning hygiene habits of old Hollywood's most beloved icons. The truth has stayed hidden for decades until now. In this video, we'll explore the private hygiene struggles of 15 legendary stars from Hollywood's golden age, whose real lives sharply contradicted their carefully crafted images. From dental disasters and bathing boycotts to infamous body odor and chronic bad breath, these stories reveal just how far studios went to protect their stars. Let's begin. 1. Clark Gable, the king with killer breath. Clark Gable was Hollywood royalty. The undisputed king of Hollywood, Gable's charm and masculinity defined the leading man for over 3 decades. As Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, he delivered one of cinema's most iconic lines and sent women across America swooning. But getting close to Clark Gable came at a cost. By the age of just 32, Gable had lost nearly all of his natural teeth. Not a few caps or partial plates, but almost everything. He suffered from severe periodontal disease, known at the time as pyorrhea, a condition that destroys the gums and bones supporting the teeth. In 1933, as his career was skyrocketing, his dentist made the drastic decision to extract nearly all his teeth. Gable was hospitalized for days and then retreated to Canada to recover in secrecy. The dentures that replaced his teeth were crude by modern standards, ill-fitting, uncomfortable, and a breeding ground for bacteria. The result was legendary halitosis. His breath became so notorious that co-stars quietly dreaded intimate scenes. During the filming of It Started in Naples in 1960, Sophia Loren reportedly kept her distance between takes and requested that close contact be minimized when cameras weren't rolling. Even more shocking, Gable reportedly refused to use mouthwash or breath mints, believing they interfered with his acting. Crew members from The Misfits, his final film, recalled that by then, the odor was noticeable from several feet away. Yet no one dared confront him. Kings, after all, were untouchable. 2. Joan Crawford, dental disaster behind the famous lips. Joan Crawford's face was her fortune, and her curse. In her relentless pursuit of perfection, Crawford underwent painful cosmetic dental procedures designed to hollow her cheeks and sharpen her bone structure. Like Marlene Dietrich, she had molars removed to enhance her facial contours. The results were catastrophic. Her front teeth began spreading apart. Dentists filled the gaps with cement, capped them, and reshaped her bite. The pain was severe, and the complications worse. Chronic gum infections left her mouth swollen, permanently enlarging her upper lip, ironically becoming part of her signature look. In her late 60s, Crawford required major dental surgery so extensive she needed round-the-clock medical care afterward. What made this especially disturbing was Crawford's obsession with cleanliness everywhere else. She scrubbed her hands raw, demanded spotless homes, and micromanaged every detail of her appearance. Yet her dental hygiene remained a lifelong problem. Hollywood insiders whispered about her breath, particularly when alcohol entered the equation. As her drinking increased later in life, so did the severity of the issue. 3. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was the ultimate sex symbol. But behind the glowing skin and platinum curls was a woman whose hygiene habits shocked those around her. According to multiple sources, Monroe rarely bathed, often went without undergarments, and had little interest in basic cleanliness. Author David Brett claimed that Clark Gable, despite rumors of an affair, found Monroe personally repulsive due to her lack of hygiene. She reportedly never used deodorant and could go days without bathing. Her makeup artist, Whitey Snyder, developed emergency routines just to keep her presentable, stocking baby wipes and heavy powder to freshen her between takes. Wardrobe staff quietly struggled, especially during long shoots, as Monroe's glamorous image clashed violently with reality. For Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes' descent was one of Hollywood's most disturbing transformations. Once impeccably groomed and stylish, Hughes' obsessive-compulsive disorder spiraled into a debilitating fear of germs. Ironically, this fear drove him into unimaginable filth. He stopped bathing, let his hair and nails grow unchecked, wore tissue boxes on his feet, sat naked in sealed hotel rooms surrounded by jars of his own urine. Yet his standards for women remained impossibly high. If a woman had a blemish, Hughes refused to touch her. The contradiction was staggering. Absolute filth for himself, perfection demanded of others. 5. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn embodied adventure and charm on screen. Off-screen, heavy drinking transformed him into a walking cloud of alcohol-soaked sweat. His breath became overpowering by afternoon. He often wore the same clothes for days, sometimes sleeping in them. Wardrobe departments secretly altered his costumes so sections could be removed and cleaned without his noticing. Only Olivia de Havilland could gently suggest mouthwash without bruising his ego. 6. Marlon Brando. Method acting, method stinking. Marlon Brando rejected Hollywood norms, including bathing. From A Streetcar Named Desire onward, co-stars complained about his refusal to use deodorant or bathe regularly. Vivien Leigh was reportedly disturbed by his odor during intimate scenes. By Apocalypse Now, the stench became a production problem. For Brando, it wasn't neglect, it was rebellion. 7. James Dean. Rebel without a shower. James Dean turned poor hygiene into a statement. He wore the same clothes for weeks, bathed infrequently, and considered grime part of his authenticity. Crew members complained. Natalie Wood endured close scenes in silence. His habits began in poverty but persisted in fame. 8. Judy Garland. When mental health took over. Judy Garland's hygiene struggles were tied to depression, addiction, and studio abuse. Drug regimens destroyed her ability to maintain self-care. On good days she was immaculate. On bad days unwashed and disheveled. Her inconsistency reflected profound suffering, not indifference. 9. Elvis Presley. The king with royal halitosis. Elvis obsessed over his hair but neglected his teeth. Prescription drug abuse discolored his teeth and worsened his breath. Co-stars quietly avoided full contact during kissing scenes. By the 1970s, hygiene became another casualty of his decline. 10. Elizabeth Taylor. Cleopatra's hidden struggles. Elizabeth Taylor's hygiene fluctuated with emotional turmoil. During depressive periods, she relied on perfume instead of bathing. Directors used diplomacy, never confrontation. Her neglect mirrored her emotional pain. 11. Charlie Chaplin. When the tramp wasn't acting. Chaplin's on-screen grime sometimes mirrored real life. During intense creative periods, bathing took a back seat. While polished in public, those close to him noticed the neglect. 12. Humphrey Bogart. Bad breath behind the tough guy. Bogart smoked relentlessly, drank heavily, and neglected dental care. His breath made romantic scenes difficult. Only Lauren Bacall seemed unfazed. Others quietly asked for distance. 13. Rita Hayworth. Beauty at a physical cost. Studio-mandated cosmetic procedures damaged Hayworth's scalp permanently. Chronic dermatitis made hygiene management difficult, requiring constant intervention by hair and makeup teams. Her glamour came at a painful price. 14. Montgomery Clift. Trauma and decline. After a devastating car accident, Clift's self-care collapsed. Chronic pain and addiction eroded hygiene. Makeup artists had to manage not just scars but neglect. Elizabeth Taylor ensured he was cared for when others turned away. 15. Tallulah Bankhead. Proudly unwashed. Tallulah Bankhead didn't care. She rejected bathing, embraced excess, and wore her rebellion openly. Odor was just another part of her legend. Behind Hollywood's golden glow were very human flaws, sometimes shocking, sometimes tragic. If you found these stories fascinating or horrifying, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling us which revelation stunned you most. Let us know which old Hollywood star you want us to uncover next. Because sometimes the truth doesn't just stink. It reeks.